Hey guys, it's Heather here, and sorry for the long delay in getting a video to you. Hopefully this one is going to be worth it. It's been a while since I've talked about engineered accounts and how to fix them. That video that I did a while ago, it was a quick and simple and flawed solution that's been shared quite a lot, and I felt for a long time that I needed to update that video with a better solution that took into account all the different ways that people like to play. And so over the last few weeks, I've been talking to players. You may have seen me on Twitter doing polls, talking to people there, talking in the Discord room, talking in the forums, talking to other content creators, and most importantly, talking directly with Supercell on exactly how things work with regards to matchmaking. I got some huge insights with regards to changes that have taken place to make matchmaking more fair. I'm not allowed to share specifics, the values, or the math, but what I can do is take what I've learned from all of this and give my recommendations to your clans on how they can get the most fair matches. I can also tell you it's not simple. It's no wonder they don't publish it, and it's always in flux to keep up with the players and what they're doing. Plus, knowing what is being done behind the curtain could just lead to players trying to game that as well. You know, in fact, there was something that I said a while ago in a video when talking about matchmaking with an old clanmate of mine, and what we speculated then based on how we were seeing some of the matchups work actually does play a role, so that was really cool. So seeing how matchmaking works now, it's really not about trying to find an advantage. You'll likely find yourself on the short end of that more often than not. You can't lop it one way or another. You can't lop it to the defense, lop it to the offense, and game the system like you could in the past and be able to gain an advantage over your enemy. Right now, it's about doing what you can to make sure you get a fair matchup and then beating the other clan with better base designs and better attacking, just how I believe it should be. The long and the short of it is, as long as our clans continue to play slightly lopsided, engineered clans will exist, and you'll find yourself being outmatched more often than not. They'll get outmatched too, but you're also going to be a part of that game system. There have been changes made to matchmaking to make things more fair, but what I think is more common right now is players not realizing which side of the line they're actually playing on. The matchmaking system had a big update in October, and I speculate it's going to continue to change to even out whatever way players are playing. See, that right there is not the problem. It's never been the problem. You know, in the past, we had players who would only upgrade the war troops that they use. They just upgrade like one army and then they neglect all their other offensive troops and just focus on that and gain an advantage that way. And things were done to balance that out and to make it so that wasn't as effective. So when that no longer was an effective way to gain an advantage over your enemy, then we had the rise of the 0.5s, and that expanded into engineering, which became even beyond a 0.5. And now we're seeing that things have been changed to the matchmaking algorithm to balance that out as well. One of the best parts of Clash of Clans is being able to play the game however you want, upgrade whatever you want. It's then up to the developers to keep the game fair with regards to matchmaking and take into account all the different ways people are allowed to play it. So there isn't one system out there that has this great advantage over another, other than the way the game was intended to be played has an advantage over how the game was not intended to be played. So how the game was intended to be played rests with the developers and how they think it should be played. Before we get much further into this, because I can already see people typing in the comments, what is a 0.5? What is engineering? Let me explain those really quickly. A 0.5 town hall, so let's take an example at 8.5, means that the base is actually a Town Hall 9, but it's keeping the defense of a max Town Hall 8. That's a 0.5. So a Town Hall 9 that is working solely on offense. So that means they've got their Archer Queen, they've upgraded their spell factory, their laboratories, their barracks, their army camps. They're working on upgrading all of their Town Hall 9 troops, but they're neglecting all of the defense for Town Hall 9. So they don't have expos, they're not dropping new defenses. Maybe they're upgrading some of their old Town Hall 8 defenses. That is typically a 0.5. And a 0.5 is going to be classified as anything where you have a lopsided offense to your defense that is of one Town Hall spread. So it's going to be a Town Hall 8 defense with a Town Hall 9 offense. And maybe it's not a max Town Hall 9 offense, but you're definitely focusing on the offense and it's outbalanced in accordance with your defense. And the same thing applies. A 9.5 would be a Town Hall 10 with a Town Hall 9 max defense, but working on Town Hall 10 offense and troops and all that stuff. So that's a 0.5 typically is what we define it as. And engineering is what we would classify somebody who goes beyond that. So perhaps a Town Hall 8 defense with a Town Hall 10 offense. We're going further than a one Town Hall spread. And that's when we start getting into engineering. And that's typically where people have said, whoa, this is too much. This is getting onto the line of cheating. This isn't fair. This should be banned. Supercell should stop it. Now, the key to keep in mind as players, what we define as a 0.5 and typically is acceptable in most clans, and what we define as engineering, typically what we are not okay with in most clans, are both lopsided tactics in building your base. And so they're both seen as being lopsided, where the offense is going to be heavier than the defense. It's just a different spread on how far out of balance your offense is with your defense. So let me say first off, it's not cheating. I have no problem with it. People can have completely defensive bases. They want to play that way. That's fine. People should play however they want to play. And no one would have any problem with it if it didn't affect clan matchups to give players who build this way any kind of advantage. You should be matched up fairly according to your base capabilities. If this isn't the way the game's intended to be played or the way the developers want it to be played, then it's up to the matchmaking algorithm to make it more fair in the matchmaking. Not to force people to play a certain way, not to force them to have to max out their Town Hall before they can upgrade to the next one. It's just to allow people to play the way they want to, but then to make sure that matchmaking takes all of those different ways of playing into account. Now, my video on how to fix engineering has been widely shared, and it was completely flawed because it based everything on the Town Hall. It was a simple way to explain a system for matching clans fairly, or at the very least a system that people knew where they stood and how they would be matched. A popular idea from the Clash of Clans forum is the term called a weight tax, which very simply put is a way to add balance to a player's offense and defense depending on how unbalanced they are in one direction or another, without any regard for the Town Hall. I think what many of us don't realize as we keep trying to come up with solutions is that balancing factors are already in place and continue to be tweaked with each update. We keep matching against more and more engineered clans, which then pushes clans towards a mentality of, if you can't beat them, then join them. Those who don't want to fight engineers are pushing more and more the 0.5 route, then beyond the 0.5 into full-blown engineering, and you're getting advice from other YouTube videos to go the 0.5 route, to focus on offense, so that's what you're doing. But the solution actually is to balance out your bases and keep your offense much closer to your defensive strength. So here's my recommendations. Again, this is not coming just from me, but from looking at how matchmaking is done, and also based on feedback from many clans and players and those posting in the forum. So the most important thing for you to do and for your clan to do is keep your bases balanced. Slightly better offense is fine, but not a Town Hall 8 defense with a full-blown Town Hall 9 troops. So when you go to the next Town Hall level, and be sure to max your base before going to the next Town Hall level, that's going to give you the best advantage, then go ahead and jumpstart your offense. Get yourself a single attack army and then start working on your defenses. Level up defenses according to the meta of the game, not based on any weight sheets or what videos are out there recommending which order you should upgrade things in. Weights are always changing to fit the attack meta. So if the attack meta is air and your base is being attacked with balloons, then your top Town Hall 9 defenses that you need to focus on upgrading are air defenses, Teslas, wizard towers, and expos. Secondly, the bigger your wars are, the more clanmates you have in war, the more likely you are to find a fair matchup, because it's a lot easier in the algorithm to match up a 40 versus 40 than like a 10 versus 10 or 20 versus 20, because no two bases are the same and no two clans are the same. The fewer town halls, the more likely it is of a mismatch. This rule also applies to 50 versus 50. There just simply aren't enough clans searching at 50, which means you have a higher chance of being mismatched. Number 3 is keep your Town Hall levels close together so that you only have, say, Town Hall 7 through 9s in your war, or Town Hall 9 through 11. Don't throw in lower bases. Don't have a huge spread on all the different Town Halls that you have. It's not that this classifies your whole clan as some kind of unbalanced clan and throws you into some different kind of matchmaking system where unbalanced clans are. The thing is, it's going to match you up against clans that are also using this tactic. So think of the typical average clan. Your average clan in the game is going to have players that have close to the same Town Hall level. They're not going to be Town Hall 9 clans who play with Town Hall 3s. That's a different kind of way of playing. So it's more likely that clans that are trying to game the system are going to be the ones that are going to have these lower Town Halls with them, and that's who you're going to find yourself more closely matched to. The fourth suggestion I have is restart the war search every 30 minutes. Jonas has said this doesn't really help. It might have like a minimal impact, but it has been stated that the longer the search goes on, the more relaxed the algorithm is going to become, which means there's a higher chance you're going to find yourself mismatched. Restarting your war search could help in the hopes that a clan that is closer to your clan will join in that time before the search parameters expand so far that the match is likely to be unbalanced. And number 5, accept that the better your clan does, the more your clan wins, the more likely it's going to be you're going to fight tougher and tougher opponents who also have a long winning streak going on. It's going to become harder and harder to keep that streak going on. So are unfair matches going to happen? Yes, there's always going to be unfair matches. That's just the nature of the game. No two clans are alike. You're not bringing in a clone of your base to line up on the other side of the war. There's a limited number of clans searching at the same time as you are, and the matchmaking algorithm is doing the best it possibly can to make the most fair matches, but the more difficult it is to match your clan, the more those perimeters have to expand to try and find a match that's just good enough. So keep that in mind. The more different your clan is compared to typical Clash players and typical clans, the more difficult it's going to be to give your clan a fair matchup. If you're doing the same tactics that are typical for engineer clans, then it's more likely you're going to meet up with them more often and possibly at a disadvantage, especially if you're not engineering to the full extent. You're just kind of half foot in, you're just a 0.5 into the engineer boundary, you're still closer to them than you are to a typical clan. So what I found is when you have clans that are very war focused, they fall into a few camps of play, all with the goal of match advantage. Either they're very lopsided and very strategic with every base that they play. These clans have completely maxed Town Hall 11 bases up top, heavy offense and weak defense bases in between, and possibly some random low-level bases at the bottom. You have clans that are like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, typically with a large majority of their bases as 0.5s, and then you have clans that are very balanced when it comes to their offense and defense. And you will find these 3 different types of methodology actually all matching up against each other. And of those 3 methodologies, the 0.5 clans have the biggest disadvantage. Those 0.5 clans are the ones who are emphatic that they are not engineered. They're trying to keep this middle ground of 1 foot in and 1 foot out, trying to give themselves an advantage, but not pushing it too far that they actually become engineered. But even that is being pushed further and further. My advice has always been to keep your offense slightly ahead of your defense, meaning you have the offensive troops that can allow you to take down your own base strength. As a Town Hall 9, that means once you have your spell factory upgrades, your Archer Queen to 5, your level 6 balloons, and maybe your level 1 hounds, you're fully capable of taking out a Town Hall 9 base with level 1 expos. But yet the mindset out there has been to continue to push your offense, max your heroes, max your offense. You'll see bases with heroes in their 20s, all their troops are maxed and they don't have expos. And they're wondering why it seems like they're pulling in fully maxed Town Hall 9 bases with high level heroes. And they're like, hey, I'm just an 8.5. No, you're not. Whether you have dropped those expos or upgraded your defenses, your base is now being weighted to balance it out. So no, the gold in your war storage does not show your actual calculated war weight when it comes to the war matchmaking algorithm. You're not doing your clan any favors by weighing as much as a max Town Hall 9, but only actually defending with a Town Hall 8 defense. Yes, changes were definitely made to counteract the lopsidedness and to make you balance. So whether or not you're dropping those defenses, your base is actually carrying the weight of them. So you might as well go ahead and drop them and use them to help you defend, because you're at the low end of the totem pole. There's people who are out engineering you, and so they're going to have a better offensive advantage than you do. And then above them are the people who are figuring out that it's better to be balanced, and they have the best advantage because not only do they have the offensive troops, but they also actually do have the defense defenses on their base that are being counted against them anyways. So there you go. There's my best advice to how to fix your clan, how to fix your base so that you can get better and more fair matches. And it's pretty simple, guys. Just balance it out. So recap it real quick. Keep your bases balanced. Slightly better offense is fine, but don't let that defense lag too far behind because it's going to be counted against you anyways. Try and do 30 and 40 player wars because you're going to get more fair matchups that way. Keep your town hall levels close together. Don't throw in those low town hall bases thinking it's going to help you get a better matchup. More than likely it's going to get you a mismatch that's going to be in the other clan's favor. And go ahead and restart that war search every 30 minutes. This will especially help you if you are a balanced clan to make sure you're not being pushed out to where those engineer clans are. And finally, just know you're probably going to win some and you're probably going to lose some, and that's okay. It's a game. Just be there, have fun, and do the best that you can and keep your clan morale high. All right, guys, I think that about covers it. So leave me a comment down below if you have any questions about this, or let me know how your matches are going. Shoot me a tweet on Twitter. Let me know if you're balancing out your clan and if you're finding that's helping with your matches more. And we'll follow up with it again as we have more updates and things that possibly change and give you guys the best tips that I have for helping you find the most fair matches. So if you like this video, be sure to like it. And if you love it, subscribe. I cannot believe we're almost at 100,000 subscribers. I never thought this would happen. Just, putting up some videos on YouTube, help my clanmates better understand how to do different attacks. And this is what it turned into. This is really crazy. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. I've never done any subscriber milestones, but I've definitely been thinking about this one and something really cool that I can do to give thanks back to you guys. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, join my Discord room. You can find the link down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.